See through it to the outside. And they're off. Barristan the Bold can't beat the rock, see through it on the extreme outside, takes command early, and see through it, crosses and clears with a 3-length advantage. Barristan the Bold moves through along the inside of Natural Power, and in between those two, can't beat the rock, leaving Fly the Sky at the back. It's see through it. Natural Power tries to challenge in second with a half-mile left to run. It's 2 more lengths to Can't Beat the Rock, covering Barristan the Bold, and Fly the Sky 4 lengths off the lead into the far turn. Natural Power and See Through It going at it. Natural Power on the outside, See Through It matches strides. They've pulled a half dozen clear, and now Fly the Sky starts to rally outside Barristan the Bold. Turning for home, Natural Power and See Through It. See Through It on the inside, narrow lead. Natural Power has tested him fiercely on the outside. 4 more to Barristan the Bold. They're coming to the 16th pole. See Through It. Natural Power keeps coming at him. Natural Power or See Through It. Natural Power on the outside. See Through It. Natural Power and See Through It in a photo finish. Looked like Natural Power. It's close. Barristan the Bold third, then Fly the Sky. And they're off. It's My House hustled out. Aram along the inside, Aram to the front, and makes that lead pretty easily too. Then it is Paroli racing on the inside of American Admiral, and Brazen's at the back of the field. Rounding the turn, and It's My House comes right back to challenge Aram, those two on even terms. 2 more lengths to American Admiral in third. Paroli is down at the rail, and Brazenly 6 off the lead. They pass the 6 furlong pole. It's My House by a head. Aram is second by 2. American Admiral and the Blue Silks third. And then comes Paroli with the favorite running in fourth and 4 lengths off the lead, coming toward the half-mile pole. Brazenly has trailed every step. It's My House a half length in front. Aram at the rail second. Still 2 more to American Admiral in third and Paroli fourth. Another 2 back to Brazenly. Moving toward the 3/8 pole, It's My House maintains a head advantage. Aram continues to keep pace in second. American Admiral set down within a length and a half of the top pair now, moving in 3 wide third. Then Paroli fourth, Brazenly 4 off the lead. It's My House turns for home, 3/4 of a length in front. Aram is down at the rail in second and a tad tight. In the meantime, American Admiral, Paroli on the outside, now starting to gain some momentum, has to get to It's My House. It's My House a length and a half. American Admiral and Paroli. It's My House clinging to the lead close to home. It's My House earns the W. American Admiral and Paroli. In the gate, and they're off. American Cat and New York Dreams, joined at the rail by Franklin One Star, who's prominent in the early stages too. Up onto the main track, and now here's Franklin One Star moving through on the inside of American Cat. American Cat maintains the advantage. New York Dreams in the pink is next. Bodacious, close up in Fortress, 2 off the lead. Divine Rascal, the distant early trailer is Echo Canyon. Down the back stretch, and it's American Cat passing the half-mile pole with a half-length lead on New York Dreams in second. Franklin One Star together with Bodacious and a 3 wide Divine Rascal, 3.5 off the pace, losing just a little bit of ground. 3 clear of Echo Canyon. American Cat has been there throughout, pressed by New York Dreams, and New York Dreams is up to take the lead with a 1/4 of a mile to go. Bodacious, Franklin 1 Star moving up in between rivals. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's New York Dreams pursued by Bodacious on the outside. And in between them, Franklin 1 Star, a furlong left to go. Franklin 1 Star and Bodacious head and head with New York Dreams. 3 across the course. Bodacious takes the lead close to home. Franklin 1 Star is second. It will be Bodacious winning by a length. Franklin 1 Star second, photo for third between New York Dreams and an oncoming Echo Canyon, who closed from last. We're in the gate. And they're off. Casilla is going out for the early lead, joined by Tennessee Moon. These two hook up right out of there, and they're heads apart getting onto the main track. 2 more back to Chevy Girl and Sugar Sugar, followed by California Bling and My Yvonne at the back of the field. 5 furlongs to run. Tennessee Moon to catch. Leads it by about a length. Casilla is in second, a length and a half to Chevy Girl third, followed by Sugar Sugar at the rail, just 3 lengths off the lead past the half-mile pole. California Bling is next. The distant trailer is My Yvonne. Tennessee Moon takes him to the 3/8 pole. Casilla trying to close the gap 3/4 away second. A length and a half, Chevy Girl a 3 wide third, followed by Sugar Sugar and California Bling. Approaching the quarter pole, Tennessee Moon and Casilla now just a head back second. They arrive at the top of the stretch, and in pursuit is Chevy Girl in the yellow colors, third, 3/16 to go. Casilla takes the lead. Chevy Girl on the outside as Sugar Sugar comes through at the rail, and Tennessee Moon is getting a little bit tired. Coming to the 16th, and here's Sugar Sugar with good momentum. And Sugar Sugar, good strides, blows on by. It's going to be Sugar Sugar to win it going away. Chevy Girl second, Casilla third, Tennessee Moon was fourth. (1984). Back 3 to the outside. We're in the gate. And they're off. Giovinazzo breaks out beautifully as Hula Candy was off very slowly. In second, Yogi Boy in the red colors, followed by Neon Lights coming away in third. And then comes Noble Gary fourth, 3 lengths off the pace. Watsonville is next. 1984 follows, a gap of 6. Back to Act 3, who's another 6 clear of Hula Candy. They passed the half-mile pole. It's Giovinazzo dueling with Yogi Boy. 5 lengths back, Neon Lights in third, joined at the rail by Watsonville. Then Noble Gary, about 10 lengths off the lead, and it's another 5 to the next flight, headed by 1984, Act 3, and Hula Candy. They have a 1/4 of a mile to go, and Yogi Boy goes on with it, taking up there and having some difficulty was Giovinazzo. Giovinazzo now will switch to the outside to try and re-rally as Yogi Boy has opened up. A very erratic Giovinazzo is not behaving, and Neon Lights is closing in between rivals. A 16th to go, and here comes Neon Lights after Yogi Boy. Neon Lights, Yogi Boy, Neon Lights with the momentum. It's going to be close. Photo finish, Yogi Boy and Neon Lights. Yogi Boy was game. Neon Lights right to him late. Watsonville was closing some ground. Giovinazzo and Hula Candy surfaced late. Renew Fit Cup. Up next, race 6 in 24 minutes, started the late pick 4. And they're off. Very even start. Run Snappy in the center is out very quickly. Along the inside, City of Champions, and now the favorite Booksmart gets to the front. So it's Booksmart narrowly, City of Champions between, and Run Snappy to their outside. Midnight Lightning is in fourth, Little Brother Joey fifth, and 4 lengths off the lead. A couple more to Susie Q's brother, and Golden Spa is at the back. They're heading to the 3/8 pole with Booksmart, the leader, 3/4. Run Snappy on the outside, and City of Champions in between. 4 lengths back. Little Brother Joey with the red cap on the outside takes fourth. Midnight Lightning is next. From the back of the field, Golden Spa trying to mount a late bid, trying to pick his way through traffic in the meantime. Booksmart shakes loose. Booksmart, 2-length lead coming to the 8th pole. Still with traffic, Golden Spa diving down toward the inside and mounting a bid. Run Snappy currently second. Susie Q's brother on the outside, finishing with some interest too. A 16th to go, and it's Booksmart with a 3-length lead. Susie Q's brother is coming though, and Susie Q's brother runs down Booksmart to win it going away. Golden Spa had trouble, finished third, then Little Brother Joey and Run Snappy. Functional to the outside. They're in the gate, and they're off. Awkward start for Upward Mobility in the center. Long May She Rain is very quick, as is Devil Among Us coming through along the inside to vie for the lead. In between those two, as they get to the main course, is Man Overboard, who's now quicker than both. So it's Man Overboard in front of length, Long May She Rain running in second, and Devil Among Us down at the rail, a close-up third and 2.5 off the leaders. Then Who Better Than Tiger, inside Barely Functional, racing a couple in front of Irish Royalty. Left Hand Man is on the inside of Upward Mobility, and it's 3 more to Good and Thirsty, who trails. Man Overboard has a 4-length lead coming to the quarter pole. It's close to 5 now. Long May She Rain is in second. Barely Functional on the inside. Devil Among Us cuts the corner and tries to close the gap as Man Overboard's lead is shrinking. On the inside, Devil Among Us decides to go inside. In the meantime, Barely Functional. Irish Royalty is getting involved in Upward Mobility, running a good race, a driving finish. Here's Upward Mobility, splitting rivals decisively in the final stages with Irish Royalty. Upward Mobility. How much the best was he? Irish Royalty finished second. Photo between Barely Functional and Long May She Rain. Fine. We're in the gate. And they're off. Dr. Shivel is going straight to the front. Clem Labine comes away in second, and CZ Rocket, not the greatest of beginnings, but he comes right after Dr. Shivel, and he does so on the rail. So it's Dr. Shivel just in front, CZ Rocket, a neck back second. They don't appear to be going that quickly, and it's another 2 back to Clem Labine. They come to the half-mile pole, and it's Dr. Shivel just in front, CZ Rocket will try to match strides with him into the far turn, but Dr. Shivel lets it out a notch now and has it 3/4 of a length. CZ Rocket, and then Clem Labine. Dr. Shivel, 5/16 of a mile from home. Opens it up to 2, doing it effortlessly. It's Dr. Shivel in control, turning for home. CZ Rocket chasing to his outside now, and then Clem Labine, they're a furlong from the finish, and Dr. Shivel with a 3-length lead. CZ Rocket is very honest, and then Clem Labine in third. The doctor is back to his office, and Dr. Shivel with a very successful, beautiful return to the races, canters in by 5. CZ Rocket goes over the $2 million mark in career earnings second. Clem Labine was third. And they're off in the San Luis Rey. It's a quick start for Explain This Audit. On the far outside, Opry has the most speed, and Opry now takes over. Dicey Mochara will stalk him in second as they move around that far turn. So it's Opry in charge. Opens up 3. Dicey Mochara is a comfortable second. Another 2.5. Explain This Audit, a joint third. Pass now by Rim Protector, who takes that third spot. Planetario is next. Awfully Naughty, about 8 or 9 lengths off the lead. And midcourt is the distant trailer. On to the main course, and it's Mike Smith and Opry galloping along in front by 3. Dicey Mochara is in second, just in front of Rim Protector. Then Explain This Audit in the Pink Silks fourth. Planetario comfortable, racing on the inside of Awfully Naughty, and another 4 back to midcourt. Opry loose, 6-length lead. Dicey Mochara will bide his time from second. Rim Protector still third. Explain This Audit, more than 10 lengths off the pacemaker. Awfully Naughty is just behind him. Another length and a half back to Planetario. And midcourt continues at the back of the field. Opry, a commanding double-digit lead, swinging onto the backstretch. Dicey Mochara, Juan Hernandez patient with him, joined again by Rim Protector, Explain This Audit, and Awfully Naughty are right together. 3 more back to Planetario, who just got a little bit of a nudge, and another 4 or so to midcourt. They have a half mile to go in the San Luis Rey Stakes, and it is Opry, whose tactics were obvious early. Catch me if you can, says Opry with a 7-length advantage. Dicey Mochara now beginning to cut into that margin just a bit, as is Awfully Naughty, who just needs a little bit of racing room as he starts to commence a rally on the inside. He just had a steady, however, inside of Rim Protector. And in the meantime, Planetario gets underway in full gear on the outside. Opry, 3-length lead, turning for home. Dicey Mochara, Awfully Naughty gets breathing room. And on the outside, Planetario, a furlong to go. Opry's lead diminishing. Awfully Naughty on the outside. Dicey Mochara between them and Planetario. 16th pole. Awfully Naughty gets the lead from Dicey Mochara and Planetario. And Awfully Naughty proves he was much the best in the San Luis Rey. Planetario, Dicey Mochara, Opry, and Rim Protector.
Today is easily my favorite day of the year. Why is that? Because it's Mother's Day, and let's face it, you and I wouldn't be here having this conversation if it wasn't for our moms. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP player concierge, also your seminar host for the next 40 minutes or so. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there who are joining us for all or part of their special day. Thank you so much for including us as part of your special day. I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope you pick a lot of winners. And our guest today is a mom, and I was thinking about the qualities that my mom had and other moms had, and I just listed them out. I'll read them to you in no particular order. Patience, unconditional love, empathy, humility, respect, supportive, inspirational, and time management. Think about time management, particularly for working moms. And our seminar guest today works at the racetrack. The bad news is she has to work on Mother's Day. The good news is she's our seminar guest today. Please welcome in our special guest, Millie Ball. Millie, happy Mother's Day. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you so much. I think I could probably qualify for about 3 of those.
I think you check off all of them.
Patience is tested regularly.
What does Mother's Day mean to you as a mom? We all know what it means as sons and daughters, but you being a mom of 2 beautiful sons, what does it mean to you today?
I would love to say that it's a very special, different day. But
do you have breakfast in bed?
I'll be honest with you. No, I ponied 4 sets this morning. I went to my Orange Theory class, which they were serving mimosas, so it was like a double whammy. That was excellent. Came home, showered and changed, and got to work again.
And I made you handicap 8 races as well on top of that.
So it's any other day, but it's very nice that we are recognized. That's the nice.
And let's face it, mothers should be treated this way every single day, right? We kind of make it a special occasion. But you know, you had a mom, I had a mom.
Yeah.
We have great memories. And of course, today we kind of honor and recognize all moms, including you. And thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much. And I mean, moms are, I mean, they really are. I feel extremely lucky that I had the mom I did. And I think they set great examples to you. They give you fantastic advice. I still reiterate that advice to my kids, the same advice my mom gave me. And I live by that advice. And I think it's really important.
Well, let's talk about your 2 beautiful sons that we've mentioned. And we've got some pictures to show how grown up they are. Of course, your husband is Tim Yakteen. And last year, Tim was at the Kentucky Derby with you and your 2 sons named Ben and Sam. There they are. That was last year. Look how proud you are of them. They're certainly growing up quite quickly, aren't they?
Look at those expensive smiles they have on them.
And expensive
those
clothing.
Cost me a fortune with braces, you know.
And then a year later, with the magic of technology, we'll take a look at a picture from this year's Kentucky Derby. And it's you and your 2 sons. And of course, this year's Derby was a little bit, that's the wrong picture, actually. Let's take a look at the more current picture. There we go. That's you this year at the Kentucky Derby. And boy, they have grown like weeds, haven't they?
Yep. And that was, we were running in the last race on Derby Day, and they were good enough to stick around for us at I think it ran off at about 8:45 at night. So we were under the lights in the pouring rain, and I appreciate the photographer. Very kind of him to send me that picture.
Now, it was kind of a melancholy type of Kentucky Derby for you, unfortunately, because the week before you left, we were all excited about the chances of Practical Move, and you went there, and your sons flew there for the special day, and of course, Practical Move had to scratch. You had to call on some of your mom's abilities to kind of keep everybody grounded in terms of probably the range of emotions you went through. What was that like for you and your family with the devastating news that Practical Move wouldn't run?
You know, you bring up the word emotion, and I remember thinking to myself, it's incredible that you can internally feel one way in one moment, and then the next moment feels so different. It was devastating news to us because, you know, the owners, I mean, if they were living their dream, we were all out there. The horse was training great. We just trained him. He'd gone to the gate. He'd stood quietly. Everything looked like, you know, we really thought that we had a good shot.
Sure.
And then just like that, he spiked a temp, and it just kept climbing through the day. And, you know, there's a point where as a trainer, you just have to say, look, this is not in the best interest of the horse to run him. We need to treat him. And so that was it.
The highs are highs and the lows are low. And you've kind of experienced that throughout your career. You used to be an exercise rider. You talked about ponying some horses this morning. That's probably one of the reasons why you stay so fit. But you have a love for the animal. The animal always comes first. Here at Santa Anita, we follow that motto of the animal comes first, horse safety. But they're majestic creatures. And that's why I think you and I both fell in love with the sport. It's not the gambling side of it. It's the beauty of the athlete and the horse itself.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that when I stopped galloping as an exercise rider, that I was able to find this channel to stay in touch with horse racing and the horses. And then more recently, my kids are older now, so they can get themselves off to school. So I'm like, peace out. I'm going back to the barn. So I've been out there and just, I mean, I can sincerely say there's no happier place for me than on horseback. I love it.
Now, if there wasn't enough testosterone in your family and at your household, you've got 2 boys, you've got a husband, and lo and behold, you adopted another male. This is actually a black lab puppy. Tell us about your latest addition to the Yakteen
He's
household.
another one that's on my bleep list today. Came home this morning and he chewed up my cushion that I like to sit on, my foam cushion on the bleachers that I watch my kids play soccer and baseball on. So yeah, that didn't go down too well, but yeah. He's testing my patience.
How old is he and what's his name?
He's 7 months old. His name
He's
is
adorable.
Rigby.
He's adorable. He might be a bad boy sometimes, but he's adorable.
No, he's a good boy. He's a very handsome boy, and he loves to come up and hang out with us on the set when we're at the races. So
we're never on Millie Ball's bad list. That's because she's going to find out, or we're going to find out who she likes on today's 8-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramonte and get the early changes on today's Mother's Day card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, scratch number 6, Thunder Run. Note that number 5, our Swervin' Gervin, carries 3 pounds over. There's no high 5 wagering in the first, which kicks off the early pick 5. Race 2. Number 1, Delightful Heart, carries 2 pounds over. 2, Mine and Refined, 1 pound over. And scratch number 5, Magazine. Number 5, Magazine, out of race 2. Third race is the start of the Rainbow Six. There's $100,000 in the jackpot carryover. In the fourth, scratch 5, Dialing Scotty. Scratch 6, Copper Bow 10. 5 and 6 are out. Number 1, Song of Shadows, will carry 3 pounds over. There's no high 5 wagering, and there is a revised morning line for race 4. In the fifth race, a couple other overweights. The 4 is +2 and the 7 is +1 in race 4. In the fifth, just a blinker note. Race 6, we have a program scratcher, number 12, Ziwa Tanejo. In the 7th, scratch number 3, Divine Feminine. The 7th today will kick off the golden hour pick 4. In the 8th, number 2, Love Our Family, 2 pounds over. Scratch number 4, Candy on Top. 6, Yvette Surprise, 2 over. And 11, Boganskaya, 3 pounds over. Golden hour double starts with our 8th race today. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thanks for coming out to Santa Anita Park, where post time for the first is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today is Millie Ball.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Millie Ball. You see her on a daily basis on the Santa Anita simulcast feed. It's our pleasure to have her as our seminar guest today. Talk a little bit more in depth about the 8 races. What is it about your job that you like? You talked about how appreciative you are of being able to continue in the industry now that your exercise writing days are over. What is it about offering information to the players and the punters that you kind of like best about your job, Millie?
I think it's the camaraderie I have between the horse men on the backside out there, because I worked with them for so many years. You know, they know me, and I've loved that part about it. I like to physically see a horse,
Yes.
and I feel like I can tell a lot about a horse. It's funny because years ago when I was just an exercise rider, I said to my husband, Tim, when he was training, I was like, how do you tell how good a horse is looking when you're on the ground? You're not on them, you're not feeling them. But I've learned and appreciated through filming the works on XBTV, seeing so many horses work, what a trainer sees when they're watching workouts and who's working good and who's not. And so I think most of all, that I'm learning every day. I just said that to someone yesterday who's new in the sport. And I said, I've been doing this for years and I'm still learning. And that's what I love about it.
If you stop learning, you basically stop growing, right? That's true both as an adult and as a child. Even horse players, they always try and share ideas and come up with new ideas and new principles. And certainly that applies to your job as well. You talked about looking at horses, Millie, and riding horses as well. I just want to follow up with one additional question. When you were exercising back in the day, could you tell when a horse had ability or class? Was there something underneath you that kind of told you, wow, this horse is special compared to many of the others?
Very much so. I mean, you actually learn very early on, I think, if they have class, because the ones that have class just behave out there on the track. They do what they're told, what they're supposed to do. Often the ones that don't have quite so much class and don't go on to, be really good racehorses, they're the ones that are nervous and, so I think there's that part of it. And then as you start to work horses, I think for me, once you start getting beyond the 4 furlong works and you start working those first 5 furlong works, then you start to really see if the horse has got some ability or not. It's how much is still there at the end of that work. And I've been lucky enough. Yeah, I've ridden some really good horses. And
tell us a few names.
Real quiet. I galloped him when he was, for a short time, when he was over at Hollywood Park under Tim, when they were prepping him, Bob was, for a race back there. Tinner's Way.
Wow.
I was a regular rider of Tinner's Way. I've been on some very nice horses, and there is a difference between it's like driving a Prius and driving a Lamborghini.
Well, let's see if we can find any horses with ability on today's 8-race card through our handicapping prowess. And we kick things off, Millie, in race number 1. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. This race is for fillies and mares. It's a starter optional claiming race. The rails today are at 0 feet. And of course, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We've got a field of 6 after the scratch of number 6. The morning line favorite in the current betting choice at even money is number 7, Avantap from the Mark Glatt barn. Mark Glatt and Amanda Aguilar certainly team up for a lot of winners. Are they going to team up for a winner in race 1?
I believe they will. This horse has the right kind of speed, I think, to try and shake loose on the lead. He is in the position from that post, in my opinion, to dictate the race. The horse has tactical speed if he doesn't break on top. He's got a good post to judge the speed that's to his inside. So I think it's his race to lose. He comes off a nice work as well on the 7th of May, 48-4. He's doing well coming into the race. But the one horse that I think could cause him a little bit of trouble is the 5, R Swervin Gervin, because if Valdivier goes, and I think he's got to go, otherwise he's conceding the lead to the 7 and Aguilar with Avantap. If he goes, now this horse will get a little bit of pressure, and I don't know if he'll get that loose lead and win the way I'm expecting him to.
Pace makes the race. Before we take a look at race number 2, Millie, let's take a look at the workout for number 7, Avantap, that you mentioned. It was back on May 7th on the training track. You wanted to show this particular workout. I'm always interested in getting your expertise because you've been on the horse's back for so many years during your lifetime. Give us your thoughts on what you thought of this workout and why you wanted to show it.
Well, here you can see the rider's standing up pretty high in the irons, and he's just letting the horse, run a little bit through this workout. He's not asking him, but he's giving him a loose rein and allowing the horse to find his stride and get into rhythm. Quickly changes leads there. I love the minute the horse straightens up from the turn, they should automatically switch leads, which this horse does. And again, you see how he's like reaching with his nose in front. That's the extension of his stride that we're seeing there. And it just, to me, was a healthy, happy work.
Millie, that workout that we're watching is on the training track, and of course that's a different surface than the main track, and of course our main track is a different surface than either Los Alamitos or Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. Can you tell the difference in surfaces when you're on the back of a horse? Is it noticeable to you? Is it maybe looser? Is it tighter? Can you actually tell?
Immediately that jogging, you can visually see it, but it's when you're galloping, then you can really tell whether the track's a little bit deeper or a little bit looser.
And some horses prefer a certain surface.
Very much so. Yeah.
Some prefer a cuppy
turf
surface.
Horses like the tighter main tracks if they're training over the main tracks, and then the dirt horses, most of them can handle the deeper tracks.
Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This race is for fillies and mares once again. Main special weights traveling 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the 5, leaves us with a field of 5. The morning line favorite number 4, Applefest, the second-time starter from the Bob Baffert barn. 8-5 on John White's morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 2, Millie.
Well, Applefest, I think, could win purely off of fitness. She went out and was sort of duking it out on the front end, went a little bit too quick early, I think, in her debut. She's come back and worked, and works are okay for a Baffert horse. I mean, for anyone else, they'd be good works. But for a Baffert horse, I looked at it and I thought, her works are okay. But again, that fitness edge could allow her to win in here, because I don't think it's a very tough group. The other horse that I thought had a shot in here, the first-time starter, who's going to have to overcome the rail and going 6.5, which is quite a bit different, I think, for a firster than 6. But that's Mike Pipey's 3-year-old filly, the number 1, Delightful Heart. She had a good work out of the gate back on April 24th. And then we talked to Sean McCarthy about his horses that he has running today. He's got the number 2, Mind and Refined, and he trained the brother Tom Bombadil, if you remember, the debut winner, Lilac Starlight. He trained. She couldn't run, but Tom Bombadil certainly can. And this 3-year-old filly, I think she's got a little bit of upside here. That was a much quicker work than was published on the 7th of May, according to Sean. He clocked her in 47 and change, so that's a 51-3 workout, but according to Sean's clock.
Interesting jockey assignments, Millie, in race number 2, Mind and Refined, who you were just talking about from the Sean McCarthy barn. Edwin Maldonado gets in the saddle. That tells me that maybe Theft is on the agenda. Certainly early speed is something we could expect her to flash. And number 1, Delightful Heart, always picks up my my chin whenever I see Mike Smith get on a first-time starter. This time for Mike Pipey. I did a little bit of research on the dam. The damn Delightful Lady actually beat Paradise Woods in her career start number 2 to break her maiden. This is her first foal, but she was raced by Paymaster Racing, who's also owner of Delightful Heart. So certainly there is some precocity there. The key issue with her will be whether she can flee the rail and get out of there successfully. Race number 3 on an 8-race card begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, the jackpot single ticket care over, now up to $100,000. That amount plus whatever is wagered today will be yours to win if you're the only winning ticket. And we kick things off in the Rainbow Pick 6 in race number 3, back on the turf course, 1 mile to the distance. Fillies and mares, $25,000 claiming tag, a field of 5. Number 4, Too Much Heaven, who won last time out off the layoff, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. I want to give kudos to Jessica Pfeiffer, because you'll recall this. I believe you were on the simulcast desk with her. She was galloping Too Much Heaven on her comeback trail, and she touted this horse extremely strongly. Blinkers went on this particular afternoon when this filly went, or when this mare, I should say, went gate to wire. You're never going to know. You talked about always learning. You never know. You never know when you're going to pick up a handicapping nugget just listening to the simulcast feed, because Jessica couldn't have given Too Much Heaven more stronger of a push than she did last time that this mare won.
Absolutely. And horses really will tell themselves when they're coming back around and into form. Some trainers like to run their horses back quickly. Others trainers like to give their horses a bit more time between races. And for me as a rider, you get that sense after about 3 weeks in between races. Now those horses really start to show that they're feeling fresh and ready. They'll squeal training in the mornings. You know, they'll rush at the front of their stall.
They're kind of lethargic coming out of the race.
All of a sudden their energy has come back in there, and you're like, please run this horse for me. I can't gallop it any longer.
Well, let's take a look at one of those post-race workouts. You wanted to show a workout for Too Much Heaven back on April 23rd. This once again was on the training track. 20 runners worked this particular day at that distance on the training track. This runner split the field, 10th best out of 20. But again, it looks like this mare is going nice and easy.
Yeah, well, look at Gio. He's got his feet, Giovanni Franco's got his feet in the dashboard, particularly at the very beginning of this work. This is a mare that wants to get it on in the morning. And we've seen that, that worked out for her in the afternoon last time out. She's working here without the blinkers. She takes a little bit longer to switch leads, but Gio just shifts his weight very slightly and she immediately reacts on cue there. So I'm expecting her to try the gate to wire tactics, and judging from this workout, it looks like she's sharp still.
Millie, we're blessed with a very talented jockey colony. Certainly Giovanni Franco could go to many different jurisdictions and be the leading rider. And of course, during the winter, we had a super talented jockey colony, including Flavian Pratt and Johnny V, and of course, Frankie Dettori. You probably know Frankie Dettori from back in the day when nobody knew who he was. He's literally a rock star now in the thoroughbred world, isn't he? It was a delight to have him here and see the level of performance he could put forth, because he's a world-class jockey.
I think Frankie and I are very close in age, and I met him when I was about 23 years old, 22 years old, actually. It was at Ian Balding's barn in England. He was riding a lot back then for Ian Balding. You had horses like Lock Song, and I met Frankie, and he was Mr. Personality back then. And he's just, he
hasn't slowed down.
No, not at all. No, but he's done wonders for this sport.
And the jockeys, let's face it, they risk their lives every single time. And we should give them credit when credit is due, because they're literally taking their lives in their own hands. And they do an admirable job trying to control a 1,000-pound animal going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, and starting from, a little metal stall.
With very little wiggle room.
Yeah, it looks easy, but it's not.
So Too Much Heaven is basically your top selection in race number 3, Millie?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, let's take a look at race number 4. It begins the 50-cent late pick 5, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track in conjunction with Mother's Day. This race, once again, is for fillies and mares. This race is for maiden claimers. $50,000 is the claiming tag. 2 scratches, scratch to 5 and 6. Leaves us with a field of 5. The revised morning line favorite, now down to 6 to 5, is number 1, Song of Shadows, taking the blinkers off. Give us your thoughts on race 4, Millie.
Well, actually, my ticket, if I were playing the pick 6, would have got a lot smaller, because I would have alled in this, and we had the 5 and 6 in there at that point.
So your
now
ticket's cheaper now.
It's cheaper now with 2 less, but I could not make heads or tails of this race at all. If you said you got to pick one, I would go with the outside horse, Whiskey Outlaw, because he draws outside. This filly draws outside. She's got dirt pedigree. She's a good-looking horse. So I'd go with the outside horse if I had to use just one. But I know Song of Shadows, she was formerly in Tim's barn. And she's just an extremely nervous filly. She's got a little bit of ability, but she's just extremely nervous. And I can see that Steve Miardi's taking the blinkers off her and putting the bug rider on, so she'll get the weight break. And as long as she gets out of the gate, she's fast. So I expect her to go to the lead and try and dictate the race from there.
Millie, I'm picking your brain and expertise because I want to ask you a question about number 7, Whiskey Outlaw, who you mentioned would be your top choice. Often handicappers think that a horse's biggest improvement in their career is from start number 1 to start number 2. Do you agree with that overall assessment? I know it's a generality and each horse is different, but do you kind of agree with that sentiment?
Very much so. I mean, horses learn, especially, very early on in their career, they learn with every race that they run. They learn that the jockey's going to ask them to settle and not gun from the gate all the time, or they'll learn to get the dirt in their face. I mean, Table was a classic example of that. And so it definitely, you need these races to build that not only fitness foundation, but also from a mental standpoint to teach these horses what you're asking them to do.
And there's also morning glories as well, particularly with first-time starters. We'll see the clockers rave about the workouts. There was a John Sheriff's 5-year-old first-time starter yesterday, Hula Lady, who the clockers raved about. Lo and behold, in the afternoon, when he or she broke from the gate dead last, was beaten basically from the start. They can fool you in the mornings because it's a completely different atmosphere in the afternoon.
Very much so. And I think that the main thing is that in the mornings, you've got your horse in the bridle and they're confidently running through your hands. But in the afternoon, the pace is a little bit quicker, and now the jocks kind of let their head go a little bit, and then that's when they start to lose their action and lose their confidence. And but that's why you tell the good horses from the not so good horses.
Race number 5, we're back on the main track. 1 mile is the distance. Also, race 5 on today's 8-race card begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This is an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 5. The morning line favorite is number 4. Lucky for you, from the Bob Baffert barn. But at 9 to 5 is Tecumseh Caroline from the Phil D'Amato barn at 9 to 5. You wanted to show a workout, Millie, from May 8th for Tecumseh Caroline. Talk to us again about why you wanted to show this work.
Well, I really liked this work. You can see Tecumseh Caroline's on the outside of Ever a Rebel. here, and just really nice and relaxed in this workout over the main track, which is the surface that she's going to be running over. We see Phil Diamato working a lot on the training track, and those horses are usually his turf horses. But here we're seeing Tecumseh Caroline. The main thing I wanted to see is her energy level, because when you have won 3 consecutive races, it's harder for those horses to keep winning those races, and it's because they're putting in 100% every time they run. And what I liked is to see that Tecumseh Caroline, she's showing that she's still got energy and the desire in here to keep up with her stablemate. So I put her on top, and she's stretched out last time out. It looked like, she'll be able to, with the cutback in distance, probably maybe have been a little bit too far for her last time. But I was surprised that the other horse was favorite, having never started on the main track before.
And you also give a little love to the outside mare number 5, Trouville, who really is a little bit camera shy, but likes to complete the exacta.
Yeah, she fits here, as she has done in her last few starts. But like you said, she's a bit of a nibbler, but she'll get a good trip, I think, from that outside post.
Before we take a look at race number 6, Millie, another question for her, really a comment, and that is that, of course, you and Timmy Octina are always in the spotlight, naturally so, but you have an incredible staff supporting you behind the scenes on the backside. And I know that yesterday, Tom Ryan and his group gave your entire barn jackets, and they were beaming from ear to ear with smiles because they were so gracious of the gift that was given to them.
Very appreciative of that. Yes, they were. They all lined up. I made sure that I did it on payroll day, so they were all there.
You do that too, as if you didn't have enough to do?
No, I don't do the payroll.
Okay.
I just was handing out the checks. But yeah, they were extremely excited, lined up and getting their jackets, and then wearing them proudly for the photograph. So yeah, they do. They work really hard, and they love their horses. I was just having a conversation yesterday with one of the grooms who's like really upset if we were to run one of the horses in a claiming race, and because they get
They're
so attached to them.
Of course.
They don't want the chance of losing these horses.
Part of family, that's for sure. Let's take a look at race number 6. This is where things get interesting. Have you seen the field sizes for races 6, 7, 8? They're incredible. And race number 6, we're going 1 mile on the turf course. Maiden claimers, $50,000 is the claiming tag. 1 program scratch the 12, Z Watneo. Leaves us with a field of 12. The morning line favorite, who's very speedy. We'll see if he can stick around today, as number 1, Belmont Bill from the Anthony Saavedra barn. 3-1 on John White's morning line. For horse players, Millie, this is something we salivate over because there's a lot of different ways you can go here. Which way are you going?
I ended up with the favorite, yes. I just think that he went too fast too soon last time out and paid for it late. But look at his race 2 races back. He finished a neck behind 34 Coupe. And I think that, based off of that race, he should be very tough.
With Diego Herrera in the saddle, who returns to ride today.
Exactly. I did see the number 3, who was a handful schooling yesterday for Joe Herrick. The number 9, the key is Unity. Toward the outside in here. This is a 4-year-old. Again, these races, as you know, Tom, now starting to be for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. And
not like the old days.
I'm still giving slight edge to the older horses, even midway through the year.
You talked about schooling, Millie, and I want to visit that area or topic for a minute, because we show a lot of times, either on video, on Twitter, or maybe even on the simulcast feed, of horses schooling. Again, we're speaking general because horses have different personalities. But as a trainer and as a horsewoman, what do you want to see when a horse schools maybe the day before a race?
You just want them to go over there and just be completely relaxed. Relaxed with...
You don't want to see them keyed up.
Exactly. You want them to walk over. I mean, a little pep in their step is okay, but you just want them to be relaxed. You want to stand them in their stall where that you're going to be saddling them, and you want them to take that breath. That's like, it's golden when you see one of your horses doing that. And then just stand there quietly. Some trainers will put a training pad on the horses and mess around with that a little bit, simulating saddling them. Some horses, that they're going to have to be saddled in the box, which is, a more restricted area. They can't see the other horses around them, and so you might take them in the box. But yeah, the main thing is just to know that your horse is going to go over on race day and be calm. You
talked about simulating conditions, though, but I've seen oftentimes on race day, there's kids running up and down around the paddock and in the apron. Yeah. I mean, you just can't really simulate exactly what's going to happen. And it's got to be frustrating to, horse men and horse women, because you try and actually do what might, anticipate what actually might happen, but it's impossible to anticipate the crazy things that do happen.
It is. And I think that it's smart. Some trainers, I noticed that they will come out and they'll school their horses on really big days, even if they're a ways away from a race, because those big days, as say they're going to run in the Kentucky Derby, where there is just, I mean, it's bedlam back there, but they get a more likely scenario that they're going to expect. Yeah.
Race number 7 begins the $1 golden hour pick 4. In my opinion, the golden hour pick 4 sequence today is the toughest one of the year. That's right. I expect the pool to be big, and I expect the payoffs to be large as well. Both races here at St. Eden, both races at Golden Gate. The last 2 races at Golden Gate comprise the $1 golden hour pick 4. So make sure you get involved. And in race number 7, the first leg of the $1 golden hour pick 4, we're going 1 mile on the main track for $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Scratch the 3 leaves us with a field of 7. Millie, before we get your thoughts on the race, I wanted to show the replay that 4 of these runners exit out of, and that would be the race back on April 23rd. It was the 9th race, and specifically, I want you to watch the inside 2 runners in this replay. Big Swede, who is saddlecloth number 8 in today's 7th race, actually breaks from the rail, and also Economical, who just missed. You'll hear in the call that Frank Miramati couldn't decipher the winning margin between the 2 horses that finished lapped onto each other at the wire. Economical breaks from post position number 2. Long story short, when we watch this replay and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action, watch the inside 2 runners, particularly the inside runner, Big Swede.
And they're off. Little brother Joey is hustled out for the lead. Economical. Big Swede along the inside has some speed. Missed Call is in the firing line, as is Divine Feminine. Then Crypto Money. Careless Kitten, Chicken Finger Friday is second to last, and Guardsman Pass at the back of the field. 3 of them vying for the lead. It's Little Brother Joey between horses, Missed Call on the outside, and Divine Feminine just a neck back third. Then Economical under a tight hold fourth, and down on the inside, Big Swede is very eager, headstrong, trying to find a spot just behind the trio on the front end. It's then a gap of 3 lengths to the next flight. Chicken Finger Friday is down on the inside, and Careless Kitten right next to him. Crypto Money angles outside of that pair, and Guardsman Pass is far back. They have a half mile left to run, and it's Divine Feminine, Little Brother Joey, and Missed Call continuing to do battle. The Big Swede is down at the rail in fourth, still a little bit eager. And outside of him comes Economical in fifth. Chicken Finger Friday has gotten closer, within about 4 lengths of the lead. And Careless Kitten just outside of him, trying to rally, but will be caught 5 wide. Careless Kitten only 2.5 off them, though. From the back, Crypto Money has 5 to make up. Missed Call is the new leader with a 1/4 mile to go. Careless Kitten continues on the outside, trying to get to Missed Call, and it's a wide open scramble. Chicken Finger Friday floats out to the center of the track as Economical splits horses. Economical has a head in front. Chicken Finger Friday on the outside, and Careless Kitten in between them. Chicken Finger Friday, Economical at the rail. Big Swede gets out late. Here is the line. Photo finish. It's actually very, very close.
Millie, as we watch the gallop out for Big Swede here down on the rail, my deepest condolences to any players who might have played this particular runner at 6-1. The 10-pound bug boy was in the saddle that particular day. Now Vladimir Sorin, the trainer of Big Swede, switches over to Armando Aguilar. But the difficulty is Big Swede today draws the outside post going a flat mile, and we just saw Economical. Let's not forget about him. He probably should have won that photo. He ran a game effort for trainer Sean McCarthy. This is one of the reasons why I said this is one of my favorite races on the card. Give us your thoughts on race 7.
Well, just watching that, and I'm glad you showed that replay because it makes you appreciate how troubled of a trip Big Swede had. Those Mr. Bigs, they're very long and leggy usually, and they're not the easiest of horses to, check up and then ask for them to run again. They're more of those sort of grinding horses that need room and with their big strides that they have. So that was, I felt very bad for Vladimir Sorin with that performance. But Economical, I spoke with Sean McCarthy earlier today, and he said that the horse is training great. He's had the 1 race off that layoff now under his belt, and he came back and worked him and was happy with the work. So I'm expecting him to run at least as good, if not just take that slight step forward.
We close out today's card in race number 8, offering $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. Race 8, we're going 1 mile on the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred fillies and mares. Scratch the 4, Candy on Top. Leaves us with a full field of 11. The Maury Line favorite down on the rail, number 1, Timely Luck from the aforementioned Sean McCarthy barn, 5-2. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Millie, one more race to watch. Ironically, this is from the same day, April 23rd, on the day that we just watched that previous replay from, and it's the race before. So it's April 23rd, the 8th race. And the reason why I wanted to show the replay, 2 reasons. Watch Timely Luck, who breaks from post position number 6. Also watch the bottom runner here, Idessa, break from post position number 5. They both come out of this race. As a matter of fact, 5 of the 12 runners competed on this day, which I said was April 23rd, the 8th race. Let's listen to Frank Miramonte describe the action.
And they're off. Candy on Top, Palachinta, and on the inside, Rosie Forecast, showing good speed in her comeback. So it's Rosie Forecast and Palachinta. They pulled 3 clear of Candy on Top in 3rd. Then Timely Luck in 4th. Edesia was off just a half step slow and is now about 7 lengths off this battle up top, and they're really cooking on the front end. Yvette Surprise is outside of them, followed by Betsy Is the Code, who's 3rd last, Tap It Rock 2nd to last, and Ella Calamaramu at the back of the field. Palachinta takes the lead onto the backstretch from Rosie Forecast, who wisely concedes in 2nd. It's a gap of 7 to Candy on Top in 3rd. Timely Luck is in 4th. Edesia is next, followed then by Yvette Surprise, racing in mid-pack 8 lengths off the lead. Betsy Is the Code in the white colors is next. Tap It Rocks just outside of her, and Ella Calamaramu has 10 to make up. Palachinta loose into the far turn, 3-length lead on Rosie Forecast. Candy on Top inching up down at the rail in 3rd. Timely Luck is in 4th. Tap It Rocks advancing while 3 wide. Red Cap 4 lengths off the lead. Edesia is next on the inside of Yvette Surprise, and it's 2.5 more. Ella Calamaramu and Betsy Is the Code. They pass the quarter pole and turn for home, and Rosie Forecast, resurgent, comes back to take the lead. Timely Luck on the outside challenges. Candy on Top is next. Palachinta drops out of it. They're inside the 8th pole. At the rail, Rosie Forecast and Timely Luck nose to nose. On the outside, Edesia is getting involved very late. It's Rosie Forecast or Timely Luck. Rosie Forecast, a successful return to the race
that particular afternoon, Millie, but Idesia closing on the outside, the big great filly certainly looked to be maybe rounding into form, and certainly Timely Luck just missed by a neck as well. Really good betting race to close it out. Who you like and why? I'm
going with Timely Luck down on the rail, a Sean McCarthy to have the late double in there, and then my second choice in there was the wild card Sapadia, who just looks too good. This filly, she looks so good the way she's training and physically. I gotta use her.
Millie, thanks so much for joining us today. Happy Mother's Day. And of course, if you need any protection, not only do you have Rigby to protect you, but both your sons are black belts in karate as well, I understand.
Indeed.
So you've got certainly plenty of bodyguards protecting you. But thanks so much for your time and insight today.
Absolutely.
Continued success, not only with the simulcast feed, but also with your husband's barn.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Live racing resumes on Friday. We'll start at 1 o'clock with an 8-race card. But first things first, great card today. Make sure you get involved. Good luck and have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast and the turf course is firm. The rail on the turf today, 0 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, there's no super high 5 wagering with the scratcher number 6, Thunder Run. Overweight number 5 are Swervin' Gervin, 3 pounds over. The early pick 5 starts with race 1. In the second, number 1, Delightful Heart, 2 pounds over. 2, Mind and Refined, 1 pound over. And scratch number 5, Magazine. The third is the beginning of the Rainbow Pick 6 with a little more than $100,000 in the jackpot carryover. We have a blinker note in race 3. No high 5 in the fourth, and a revised morning line. Number 1, Song of Shadows, 3 pounds over. 4, Shambhala Girl, 2 pounds.